The smartest person you know probably talks the least. This is exactly why, and by the end of this video, you'll understand a pattern that explains nearly every quietly powerful person you've ever met. If you've ever felt out of place for staying silent in a room full of talkers, stay until the end. You might be doing something right that nobody ever explained to you. Welcome to Dark Wisdom. There's a quiet, consistent pattern across psychology research, leadership studies, and 2,000 years of Stoic writing. The most capable people in any room are rarely the loudest. Today we unpack exactly why. The cognitive science, the social psychology, and the Stoic philosophy that all point to the same conclusion. This isn't an excuse for introverts. It's a documented psychological advantage, and you're about to learn how to use it deliberately. Why silence often means deeper thinking. Cognitive psychologists distinguish between two processing modes: fast, automatic, low-effort thinking, and slow, deliberate. High-effort thinking, what Daniel Kahneman called System 1 and System 2, speaking quickly, and constantly relies almost entirely on System 1. Genuinely complex thought requires System 2, which is slower by design. People who pause before speaking are frequently running System 2, testing the idea, checking it against what they already know, considering how it lands. The silence isn't empty, it's computation. Marcus Aurelius described his own writing process as relentless, self-examination before any conclusion. Never the first thought, always the examined one. Key insight: the gap between a question and your answer is not dead air, it's where quality is made. Why listening more than you speak builds real power. Every word someone else speaks gives you information. Every word you speak gives information away. This isn't manipulation, it's basic information economics. The person speaking the most in any room is, by definition, revealing the most about their position, their gaps, and their intentions. Research in negotiation psychology consistently shows that the party who listens more and speaks less negotiates from a stronger position, not because of intimidation, but because they're operating with a fuller picture while revealing a smaller one. Epictetus taught his students that nature gave humans one tongue and two ears for a reason, and that ratio was meant to be a guide, not a coincidence. Practice. In your next meeting or conversation, aim to speak roughly a third as much as everyone else combined. Notice what you learn that you would have missed while talking. Why the most confident-sounding people are often the least reliable. This connects to a finding we touched on earlier this week. The Dunning-Kruger effect. People with genuine expertise are intimately aware of the complexity and uncertainty in their field, which makes them speak with appropriate hedging and nuance. People with shallow understanding experience none of that friction, so they speak with total, uncomplicated confidence. The result is a strange social inversion. The most confident voice in the room is statistically more likely to be wrong than the quieter, more qualified one. Socrates built his entire philosophical legacy on this exact insight, claiming to know nothing while men who knew far less spoke with total certainty around him. This doesn't mean every quiet person is brilliant or every confident speaker is wrong. It means volume and certainty are not reliable signals of competence, and learning to evaluate substance over delivery is one of the sharpest psychological skills you can develop. Why saying less makes you appear more powerful, not less. Social psychology research on status signaling has found something counterintuitive. In many professional and social contexts, withholding unnecessary speech is read as a high-status behavior, while over-explaining and over-justifying is read as lower status. People with nothing to prove don't perform their value. Constantly, they let it speak, through results, not narration. This is why constant self-justification can quietly damage how others perceive you, regardless of how valid your reasons are. Every unsolicited explanation subtly signals, "I need you to believe me," which paradoxically makes belief harder to earn. The Stoics practiced something they called living according to nature, and part of that was simply not needing external validation, loud enough to chase it verbally. Practice. The next time you're tempted to explain or justify a decision nobody asked you to defend, try saying nothing instead. Watch how the silence is received. Putting it all together, the discipline of intentional speech. None of this is an argument for permanent silence or social withdrawal. The Stoics were not hermits. Marcus Aurelius ran an empire. Seneca was a statesman. Epictetus taught packed rooms of students. The discipline was never silence for its own sake. It was intentional speech, saying exactly what needs to be said, when it needs to be said, and nothing more. This requires more discipline than constant talking, not less. Talking is often the path of least resistance, filling space, avoiding discomfort, performing presence. Choosing your words deliberately and choosing silence just as deliberately is the harder and rarer skill. The standard before speaking. Ask, does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? And does it need to be said right now? If any answer is no, that's your Stoic cue to stay quiet. The smartest people you know aren't quiet because they have nothing to say. They're quiet because they've learned that most words don't need saying, most explanations don't need giving, and most reactions don't need performing. That's not weakness. That's not social anxiety. That's one of the oldest, most consistently validated psychological advantages in human history, practiced by philosophers, negotiators, and leaders for thousands of years. You don't need to talk more to be taken seriously. You need to talk better and say less while you do it. Subscribe to Dark Wisdom. Week 2 goes even deeper into the psychology they never taught you. Stay sharp.